Hello everyone. I'm just going to do this video to show a few tips on working with napkins, mainly for some of the people in our Australian Art Swap group. So first off, I've got this invitation that I've had for a long time for a linen swap thing, linen party plan thing, not swap. So I'm going to gesso over that. It's the right size for an index card, and I'm going to use the, what have I done with that? Gesso as the adhesive. Hang on 1 second. And use the white part of the white layer of napkin just to cover up that under layer better, under the image. Whoops. So the white part of the napkin helps to cover that, so you've got a white background. Still showing through. And another little tip, you can just run your paintbrush or whatever along the edges. Whoops. Gesso's a good adhesive. And pull that away. You can trim it up better later, of course. And I'll just put another layer on. And I don't mind the wrinkly bits. If you don't want the wrinkly bits, I'll show you another way in a second. Hopefully I'm still in there, yep. Okay, so if you didn't know before, you'll know now that I'm a bit of a messy crafter. Okay, so we'll just do another layer. There's enough gesso on the brush to get that almost anyway. Need a little bit more. Get that adhered. Okay, that's not sticking there so well. Okay, so that's pretty well stuck. Whoop. Okay. That came off better. That hasn't stuck. That's folded over there, sticking to my fingers. I have got a cloth here. That's one of the things, if you've got glue or anything like that on your fingers, it pulls the napkin up. So it's a good idea to have a cloth or something to wipe your hands on. Okay, so we've got that pretty right. But it's a nice white background now. Not the greatest at doing tutorials. Okay, so, hang on. let me get over here. We'll put another layer, a little bit more gesso on. And we have a nice white background. A little bit more wrinkly than I was intending, but that's okay. Alright, so yep, that didn't want to stick there, mustn't have had enough. Alright, whoa, see what I mean about put your finger on there and it pulls it up. Okay. Now, I've picked out this napkin that fits fairly well. Where am I? Okay. You can't get all of the jar in. Alright, so while that's still damp, I'm going to try and line it up so that the top of the jar is at the bottom of the card. That's pretty much it. And very lightly press it down. Very light touch. And cling wrap is a really good helpful thing to use. Put the cling wrap on, then your fingers and whatever doesn't stick to it. And I've got this sort of foamy brayer. Just give that a press. Roll that over and hopefully it will be adhered. Okay, let's have a look. I think I've got enough. I think I had enough gesso there. Need something to get under there. Okay, so that's that is stuck down pretty well. So you can also just bunch the cling wrap up and give it a press. Something's rattling. Like mainly on the corners, it didn't seem to be, it was coming up a bit. Okay, so I'll let that dry and I'll come back and like once that's dry you can add some glitter glitter pens, outline the flowers a bit, add some colour to the stems, whatever you feel you'd like to do and whatever the napkin suggests. But anyway, we'll let that dry. And I was going to just show another little thing. Okay, so trying to be organised. I'm usually not this organised. Now, where's that gone? Oh, here. So, I've got this piece of a napkin, I've used elsewhere. I won't use the gesso for that because the white will come through and distort the colours. You can actually do it, but you need to have the gesso almost dry. So I'll just grab a glue. So this is just printer paper. So if you, whoopsie daisies, I've still got stuff on my hands. Just get some glue stick down on the paper. Right, that should be good enough for a start at least. Put your napkin down. Once again, you can just rub lightly. Oh, I got the bottom layer off that. Oh, I've got 2 layers there. Right, this is what happens if you don't separate the layers. So your bottom layer sticks and the top layer doesn't. Okay, so I'll use the other side. Oh, actually, I'll grab another bit of paper. I thought I had that separated. Okay, let's try that again. Alright. So, glue stick. Actually, that was a good little thing to see what happens if you haven't got them. Now, have I got enough there? Not really. I have to add a bit more. And now it will stick. So you can just rub really gently, which I like to do, because then you get, like a lot of people put gel medium or something over the top, but I like it because you get like a real kind of fabric feel to it if you don't put stuff on top. Let's see how far is that stuck. Right. So the white paper, obviously, makes the image stand out better, so it's not transparent. But you can do the, you can use the cling wrap again, as long as it hasn't got glue or anything on it. Just to make sure it's stuck down properly. I'm not going to worry about these side bits. And then you can cut that out. You know, you can, well, like say with this, you could adhere your napkin first to a piece of printer paper and then cut it out if you wanted to. It really just depends on the napkin. So we need a bit of gesso. So just, I'll do the back, just like I'll use this for something or other. So a bit of gesso. Probably didn't really need that, but I'll do it anyway. And then I've got this stripy napkin that can be like a good background or something. Now try and get it fairly straight. Which way do I want to go? That way's probably easier. No, it's not. Right. So we'll try and line up this side so the stripes are going fairly even. Okay. Now with something like this you could kind of gesso over the top just to mute that a bit. And if I'm in the camera, yep. Alright, actually got that on pretty well. Okay, and I need another paintbrush. Oh, I won't worry about it to this. So then you can just put some, what I always use is diluted PVA, about 50-50. So you can just put that over the top. Depending once again on the napkin, you might want a clean paintbrush. Because you'll get the white if you're using the same one. I might just do this side as well. And then, so that's primarily PVA. Actually, what I should do is put this on. So with the PVA you just need to be very light, light touch so you don't rip it, and you can add another layer pretty easily. Oops, not really. See what I mean about the sticky fingers. Okay, that needs some more. So with the PVA you can get a nice textured background. But you know, you just play with it. And I want a bit more. That's got wet. Okay. So, whoops. I really like working with tissue and napkins. So because these single layers just soak up the PVA. Let's see, that writing and all that's still coming through. So that's where the gesso is good. A little bit more. But you know, you just sort of get a feel for it as you do it more. But then, like, I can do a layer of gesso over that. Or not. Okay, that needs, oh, what have I done with that? So I find the cling wrap is really, really helpful. Okay. I was just going to give that a run over with the brayer to get it squashed down. Yeah. Okay. So, now we need to just lift that up. Come on. I want to come up now. Come on, come on, come on. I've wrecked the back a bit, but that's alright. Like that's kind of come up a bit, but it's okay. So you just let that dry, but yeah, you can see how that background is still coming through. So that would need like some gesso over the top, or you know, a very dark napkin or something. That side will be okay. I just don't want to put it back down there because it's just going to stick. Hang on. Oops. Oh, where's my cloth? Whoa. Oh, I've got a really small table here, which doesn't help. I need a bit bigger workspace, but anyway, it's okay. Right, now we can put that down. Just give that a bit of a press. Yes, no, I'll leave it. So when that dries, trim it up. So that just, you know, there's a bit of texture in there. It's really just for a background anyway. Yeah. So I might come back when I've done something more with this. Just show the finished pieces like this one with some extra pen. That's nearly dry. Just some extra, but you need it to be really, really dry to add anything to it. So I won't trim it up in this video. I think that's probably long enough. But yeah, there's a few tips. Yeah. So yeah. So the PVA diluted, like full strength PVA, is probably a little bit too heavy for napkins. And that 50/50 is probably a little bit too thin, really. So probably if you just add about 20% water to some PVA, that would probably be a pretty good thickness, particularly if you haven't worked with napkins very much. Okay, thanks everyone. Hope that helps a little bit. And bye for now.